Hello there. Welcome back to Tales from Tosche Station. We got new Star Wars, guys, which is always, in my book, regardless of what it is, it's always a good thing. And solid start to the Acolyte, I'll say. It was I had my reservations for the first two episodes. I was a little anxious about how these first two episodes were gonna go, if it was gonna feel like Star Wars, if it was gonna sound like Star Wars, and safe to say that they stuck that at least they cleared the launch pad. So let's see where everything else lands. But I'll talk about that more toward the end of the episode. But for now, I got this. Hey Chewie, do me a favor. Go ahead and punch it. Let's uh let's get into this thing. All right. So we start off with not an opening crawl, but essentially an opening paragraph, basically telling us that this takes place 100 years before the rise of the Empire, and that it's a time of peace, and the Jedi and the Galactic Republic have prospered at have prospered centuries without war. But in the dark of the galaxy, a powerful few have learned to use the Force, and one of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery and revenge. So starting out, we get uh, an opening paragraph that's the same. It's the same font and the same color as a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, which I found interesting. Um, they did that to, I mean, invoke the spirit of the original Star Wars, which I really enjoyed watching. I really enjoyed that they did that. So we open on, I believe I'm pronouncing this correctly, U- U- Udia. It's a new planet that I don't believe we've seen before. Maybe we've seen it in the High Republic books and the comics. I'm not very well read on the High Republic novels, so if we've seen this planet before, please, tell me down below in the comments. And so we open on May as she's on the hunt for a Jedi. She finds Master Indara in what I believe is a noodle bar. As as May comes up and confronts Indara very awkwardly, kind of a little bit of showmanship. I think it was a little weird. She's demanding Indara to fight her, and she says something interesting. She says that Indara says that Jedi don't attack unarmed individuals, and May retorts and says yeah you do, which to us the viewers tells that there's a little bit of history or animosity between May and Indara. We don't know yet. Um, and May and Indara fight in hand to hand combat, which I think was pretty cool. If you're a versus Star Wars nerd, the best way that I could describe May's um fighting style is Terakasi. It's essentially a forced style of like karate and taekwondo, and it's pretty cool. It's something in Legends that essentially it's basically forced martial arts, and it's I mean, as you saw here, it's pretty damn cool. So Indara begins to fight a little bit more aggressively as the fight goes on, as she saves a patron from falling, which gives May an idea on how to take her out. The fight gets a little bit more intention from there. And Dara finally draws her saber. May throws a knife at the bartender, which Indara stops. And in that brief opening, Indara gets killed as May throws a dagger into her stomach. And that is where we end there. And then we get introduced to our next set of characters, the other twin, Osha, and her droid slash multi tool slash Game Boy Advanced. It's really I like Pip, but the design's a little the design's a little goofy. So I'll give it to him. It was Pip's a very innovative idea for a droid, and once they start mass producing those things, it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell like hotcakes. There's a reason they put Pip in this show, and it's to sell toys. I'll I'll give it to you, Star Wars. That was a nice touch. So she works as a mechanic on a Trade Federation ship, and she gets sent outside to work on the ship as a pipe bursts. And stop me if you heard this before. A fire starts in space. Don't worry about it, people. Don't think about it too hard. What oxygen is burning, I don't know. We're talking about space wizards here, so fire in space. Don't think about it too much. As Osha has a brief PTSD flashback of the night that her parents were killed. We hear voices. I think we hear a young May. I think we hear both of her mothers kind of like tell her to get out or to save herself. And speaking of said space wizards, we see a Jedi vector fighter land on the Federation ship as we are introduced to one of if not my least favorite character at the moment, our favorite hothead Mace Windu is probably related to this guy, Yord, as he and his Padawan are looking for someone who looks exactly like Osha, as we find out that Osha is a former Jedi. Osha left the Jedi Order around 6 years ago, and the only explanation that we have is that Master Indar is the one that persuaded the Council to stop her training, although Osha doesn't see it that way. So she says it's her decision. Her decision. So we don't really have much of a backstory as to the reason why she left. We only know that she did leave, and this is something that I found very interesting. That she joined the order at age 8. Why is that significant? Because Anakin joins the order at age 9 under the same kind of circumstances. She gets brought in right after whatever tragedy this is, like immediately after, and she's mourning. It made her really tough to train, and I find that very interesting that we as viewers could or at least I could draw a line between her and Anakin as far as parallels go. I find that she was also a special case. The way that I understand it is that Soul brought her in because I guess he felt responsible for whatever happens on their home planet of um I can't remember the name right now, but whatever happened on their home planet, I think Soul felt responsible, and that's why he brought her in. Speaking of Master Soul, we cut to Coruscant and we get introduced to him. We are he we are told that he's Osha's former master and that he was the one that brought her to the temple, like I just said. And he's told of Osha's arrest as he is also told that this needs to be discreet. And this is where I noticed that the Jedi are already starting to fall. By that, I mean they are more worried about the political sides of this not causing a giant scandal as it could be perceived as one of their own getting murdered by another Jedi. And they're more worried about the optics of it than they are the truth of it, finding out who did this and why. So I find that their use of the word discretion throughout these next two episodes, or this episode, it's a little concerning this early on. So we then cut back to Osha as she's on a prisoner transport with the rest of the convicts planning an escape. Osha tells them that if they do this, they're probably gonna die because they're in hyperspace and they have no way of escaping. Even if they did use the escape pod, which I believe is a callback to the Light of the Jedi novel and the hyperspace disaster that happened in 232 BBY. It's I'm not gonna get too deep into the weeds in it, but it was a giant tragedy during the time of the High Republic, and it caused a lot of strife and a lot of panic when it happened. The prisoners escape as one of them had cybernetic implants that they could control the droids that were piloting the ship. So they escape as Osha struggles to get Pip, and eventually she does, and she breaks out of her cell. And instead of getting on the last escape pod, she rescues the other prisoner that's being held captive as he shoves her out of the way, gets in the escape pod, jettisons as she is left to die as the prisoner ship is left crashing on Karlik. And I'm really enjoying the story of May. At this point in the first episode, I'm really enjoying the character of Osha, and I know I just realized I'm probably gonna do a lot getting them mixed up. So just bear with me. It'll probably be better in a couple weeks once I figure these characters out. So hey, but we cut back to Coruscant and we see Master Soul and Master Vern again in the Jedi prison with the prisoners that just escaped as Soul requests to go after May, and again, Master Vern tells him to be discreet and to take a small team. Which, again, the fact that it's this far down the timeline and the Jedi are more worried about the optics of it and the political side of it than catching this Sith and stopping it. I think the Jedi were always. I think what we're going to learn here in this series is that the Jedi were always corrupt to a point, and that they were never really, they were probably doomed from the start, or at least pretty far into the formation of the Republic. And yeah, I just think I think it's going to be fun to see how the Jedi Council handles this and what the optics are. And now we cut back to Karlek as Osha has a vision of her sister. As we see the first images of Brindok, their home planet, which where their where their family was killed and they were separated. Sol, Yord, Jeki, Sol. So the team for this mission is Sol, Yord, and I believe her name is Jeki. I might be pronouncing it incorrectly, but Sol tells Yord and Jeki that Osha has a twin as they land on Karlak, and as they go to find Osha, and they're telling he tells her that he tells them that it was never on file, and that it's kind of a little obvious that there was a cover up here. Might have been a little bit of a messy one. As they go to get Osha, the thing that I noticed is, and that's why I called him. He's a hothead earlier. Yord's a little bit of a, well, he's a little jumpy. He likes his saber a lot. He likes to pull it out and establish his dominance, I'll say. And I just I don't think I'm gonna like Yord. Maybe he'll warm up. Maybe I'll warm up to him. But right now he's way too jumpy. Dude, you're gonna get yourself killed. So you need to relax with pulling out your saber at every single moment that there's a monicum of stress. Like you need to meditate, and actually you might actually need to take the bearish vow. So Yord, just chill out, buddy. But anyways, the episode ends as we see May talking to a Sith Lord, and the Sith Lord, just for I guess to look cool, whips his saber out at the very end. Again, cool shot. Don't know why he did it, but hey, Star Wars for you. So that ends episode 1. So let me get a quick drink of water and we'll get on to episode 2, people. We start episode 2 on Olega. As May infiltrates the local temple there, she finds Master Torben, who is who is meditating. Master Corbin, sorry, I mispronounced the name there. Who is meditating as she can't hit him. He's in a force field, which I found very, very cool. That he's literally meditating, floating in the air, and she can't land a hit on this dude. It was pretty cool to see. As so May eventually gives up, exits, does some crouching tiger, hidden dragon, ninja stuff, and gets out of the temple. As she goes to meet her contact and an apothecary, his name is Chimere. I think I'm again probably butchering the name here. To make it easier on myself, I'm just gonna call him the chemist from here on out. As she tells him to make a poison that'll kill Master Corbin. May gives him a bunta, a plant that only grows on her and Osha's home planet, which, again, Master Corbin is part of one of these 4 Jedi, that had something to do with whatever happened to May and Osha. So I think that might have been a little. I think the reason she's trying to poison him with that is a little bit of an ironic twist, and also this Sith Lord wants her to kill one of these Jedi without a weapon, and poisoning him will win her that favor. So Soul has a conversation with Osha, telling her that he wanted to save both her and May, as he tried to teach Osha the lesson of what she lost multiple times, but it never came to be. May confronts Corbin yet again, as it is as it is revealed that he is taking the bearish vow, which is kind of like penance for a Jedi. It's they draw away from all Jedi, like all Jedi Order responsibilities, and just focus on reconnecting with the Force. As May offers him the poison, he comes out of his meditation, which he's uh, been in the last 10 years. That's at least that's what it's being told, and he willingly takes the poison, which kills him. As the Scooby Doo gang um, arrive, they come up with a plan for Osha to pose as May to get information from the chemist, and he sees right through it. And Yord again comes flying in off the handle with his lightsaber. Like I've been saying, I don't think I've ever seen a Jedi this jumpy before. I mean, this dude is at every single turn. He's just, oh, let me grab my lightsaber. Lightsaber. Oh, the danger lightsaber. Yeah, I'm a Jedi. I'm like, bro, you gotta stop it. Stop. Anyways, um, like I said, I think he might be related to I mean, not to Count Dooku, to Mace Windu, with how just quick to just action this dude is. Bro, you gotta chill. So Soul confronts May, and we get treated to yet another beautiful choreographed scene. During the fight, May tries to grab his saber like he did against, uh, like he tried to do against Trinity earlier in the first episode. Which I think the reason she's doing this is to try to take the saber as a trophy back to the Sith Lord. Um, to kind of show that the saber wasn't used, and that she successfully took it off of him during the fight. And the Soul ends up taking all of her daggers as as Yord comes in, tells May that Osha's alive. May escapes as Osha, as they see each other in an alleyway. Osha has a chance to stun her sister and bring her in. She misses. It looks like she misses intentionally. And that's where the episode ends. May gets away. She bumps back into the chemist. Tells him that she knows where Kilnaka is. As we then cut to Kilnaka taking out a couple of Hut gangsters as the episode ends. So overall, like I said, two very well put together episodes. Felt like Star Wars, played like Star Wars. There's a lot of things I'm really interested in, like what the heck happened? Why was this covered up? Why was it so hastily covered up? And Who's this Sith Lord? Is it Tenebrous? Is it Plagueis? I don't know. What I do know is we are in for it. Things are about to get really, really bumpy. So, guys, until next time, may the force be with you.